Hello homies, welcome back to my channel. Today we are working on the first new project of 2025. I have been working on the kitchen and wrapping up that a little bit. I just finished the vent hood and I'm still working on finishing up the island, but I'm waiting on a couple things to arrive that I need to finish the island. So jumping a little bit to a completely different project, and we are doing something with this media wall. So this is the main wall in our living room, and I do eventually have plans to do a full built-in situation here maybe, but that is nowhere on the list for anytime soon on my page. We have way too many other things going on. So I figured, why not come up with like a temporary-ish plan of something that I can get done pretty quickly that will still check all the boxes for function and aesthetics, and that's what we're going to be working on today. So I bought myself these two new media cabinets for my Christmas present, and I really love them. The quality is so nice. They're made out of engineered wood, so this is like a solid piece instead of it being like cheap particle board. There's tons of storage in here. So like this cabinet, we typically keep blankets in, but I'm washing them right now, or I will be washing them. And then I think we have games in one of these, but my goal is to leave this entire cabinet completely empty so that we can eventually put baby stuff in there, like all of the baby toys and everything. I'm definitely not somebody that likes having just like toys out and about, strewn about the house. We are very much a like clean as you go, put things away after you're done using them, pick up after yourself type of family. So we do plan on continuing to do that as parents, because in my opinion, if kids see their parents doing that, they will eventually pick up on the fact that, you know, that's just what we do. I feel like a lot of the time, I'm probably gonna get some annoyed comments about this, but I feel like a lot of the time when kids just like leave stuff everywhere, it's because that behavior is modeled for them. So I want to make sure that before we even bring a single baby item into this house, there's plenty of space to store it in. So that's why we got those nice new cabinets, and I will link those in the description for you. So my plan for this entire thing is to paint this wall black, of course. I'm gonna leave these media cabinets there, and then we are getting a new TV, a frame TV. We loved our frame TV at our old house, but we left it on the wall because it was 75 inches too big to move with us. It just didn't make sense. So we bought another 75-inch TV to put on this wall. So I'm gonna have to like open up the wall, do a little bit of stuff to put the box on the wall. You guys will see all that later on in the video, but I'm gonna get this whole area looking nice and clean. But before I can do that, I need to take down all of the Christmas decor that's in here. It's like almost the end of January. I feel like I've gotten to enjoy the Christmas decor for long enough. So I actually just got some new bins delivered, new storage bins from Container Store. So that's what we gotta do first. I'm over the Christmas stuff, and like I really can't move on with my life and with setting up new things until I get all this Christmas out of here. So let's do that. Aside from the Christmas stuff being out, my house is kind of looking a little messy right now because I just got a huge shipment from IKEA with like, you know, cabinets and wardrobe units that we're using in our bedroom, in the nursery. We've got some stuff for the office. They were having free in-home delivery, so I was like, let me just go ahead and buy everything that I need for like the next 6 months so that I don't have to worry about loading this into my car while also dealing with this. So that's why this area is kind of set up that way, but these are all my new cabinets, or not cabinets, all my new storage bins from the Container Store. And these are my favorite storage bins because of how durable they are and the fact that they're weather tight. The lid like locks onto them really nicely. So I have been slowly changing out all of the storage bins that we use to store our stuff to these as I need them, as I put things away. I don't currently have all matching storage bins right now, but by the end of the year, I will. So this is what they look like. And they've got these nice locking handles on them that keep the lid on nice and tight. Plenty of storage space on the inside. Don't you love it, Gigi? Aren't they nice? They're such nice bins, huh? And then I also bought some of these like plastic sleeves on Amazon. They come with these little cards that you can write on so that you can write what's in the bin. Slide it into the sleeve like that. And then these actually just peel off of here and I can stick them right on. And I like doing it this way because if I ever change what the bin is being used for, I can just take the card out and write on the back side of the card, get a new card. So that makes it like super multi-functional for these bins instead of like sticky labels. Welcome to the storage room. All of this stuff is going to have to be cleaned out before I give birth because I don't want to have to deal with it after. Part of the thing that we've been storing in here just for the last couple months is all of these bins that had our Christmas decor in them previously. And what I don't like about these, like you can see this one is cracked right here. The lids are just like pretty flimsy and I don't feel like they hold their shape very well over time, like when you actually load it up because the plastic is so thin. So I'm swapping out all of these. All of this stuff will go in the new bins along with the stuff that I already have out floating around the house. So I'm just gonna take some time to pull down all of the Christmas decor, organize it, and then also organize it with these things here that I didn't end up using this year just because I ran out of time. I legitimately don't know if we'll be able to get this into the attic, like through the hole in the attic. All right, Christmas decor is finally down and put away. I can actually breathe in here again. It's not so like crowded with stuff everywhere. So now it's finally time to start working on this media wall. Right now, we have this kind of like shifted over and not directly centered because the Christmas tree was right here. And I do intend on putting another large plant over in that area. So I originally thought that I was gonna leave the spacing like this just so that, like, you know, we always have space for the Christmas tree. But I honestly just feel like it will look weird. Like seeing how much of a gap is over here and then there's like barely a gap here. I think I am just gonna go ahead and center this whole thing. So like shift those cabinets over a little bit and then mount the TV directly in the middle of the wall. And then once it is time to put up the Christmas tree again, we'll be able to just scoot the cabinets back over. The TV won't be centered, but like whatever, it's Christmas time, you know, everything's a little off at Christmas time because you've got all this decor in the house that like normally isn't there. So what I'm going to do, we did get a new TV. We got a frame TV. We absolutely love the frame TV. We had this same one, but like an older version at our last house above our like fireplace in between the built-ins, but we actually left it there. We sold it to the people that bought our house because we didn't want to have to worry about taking a 75-inch TV off the wall. So I'm so happy that we're gonna have a frame TV again. But the thing about frame TVs is they have this external box. They don't have like all of the stuff inside the TV because they're super slim and flat and sit directly on the wall. So all of the like insides of the TV are in this box and that's going to go in here. So I'm going to actually cut a hole in the wall, put this inside the wall so that the box can sit inside the wall, and then the TV will sit right on top of that. And it's got these holes that you like punch out of here that the outlet goes into. You can see we've got an outlet installed right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and install all that. I'll show you guys how it goes. I was gonna say it's gonna be pretty easy, but y'all know what happens when I say things like that. So here we go. That looks pretty good. I hate using stud finders, so I always just use some magnets to figure out where the drywall wall screws are, because wherever your drywall screws are, that's where your studs are. And then another kind of hack for finding the first stud is that wherever you have an outlet, the stud is either going to be on the right side or the left side of the outlet. That's what the outlet box is mounted to. And then from there, you should be able to just measure over 16 inches and hit a stud majority of the time. Newer houses, pretty much always, but you know, still measure, check. Right below here, there's actually some bracing, so I'm gonna need to shift my box up a bit, or else I won't be able to put it right here. All right, it's actually a new day. I got this far last night and was just about to install this when I realized that I couldn't just use the junction box that was already in the wall, because apparently you need a special junction box and special outlet that they don't necessarily tell you in the instructions. Yeah, so that was super annoying. So I just overnighted this on Amazon. So this will go in there like that, and that fits. But now I find out that I also need a special clamp to go to hook up, like knock out this part and then do a clamp so that when the wiring comes in through there, it like clamps it into this box. Yeah, not really loving this product just for the fact that like it doesn't tell you every single thing that you need, and it also doesn't come bundled together. And maybe that's fine for an electrician, but like, even, I don't know. I'm like, even if you were gonna hire an electrician, you were gonna provide this stuff for them, you would need to know all the things ahead of time, or else they won't be able to do their job. And then you just waste time having to order stuff and go to Home Depot, whatever. So I'm gonna go to Home Depot, get the little clamp that I need, and then put this together, wire it. I did figure out that because this sticks out further down, I am gonna have to go ahead and like cut this little brace out. I have photos of the insides of all of our walls from when the house was being built, so I know that this brace, like, first of all, it's horizontal, so it's not doing anything, but I can tell from the photos also that it's not doing anything, that there's just a bunch of them in between all of the studs on this wall. So I'm gonna cut this out so that I have room for this. And then I also started to look at like where the TV mount has to go, because I feel like it's gonna run into this area a little bit, so I may have to shift the box down to like where I originally wanted to put it, and then possibly patch up some drywall right there a little bit. So we will see. I'm gonna skip over all of the electrical part because I don't show electrical on my channel, since I am not a licensed electrician. I don't want y'all watching what I do and copying me. You can watch other people's YouTube videos on that if you want to. You're just not going to find it here. So I'm going to go ahead and do all that, and then I will check back in with you guys after. That literally took forever and every ounce of energy that I have, but it's in, it works. It has 2 lights. What does 2 lights mean? 2 lights means correct wiring. Great. This is where we're stopping for tonight because it's 10 o'clock. That literally took me an hour and 15 minutes to get this thing in. Next, I will have to add another like support piece right here so that I can just patch this drywall. Same thing up here, add in some more blocking, patch this drywall back up here, and then we will be good to go. So to fill in this gap, I cut down a 2x4. I added some pocket holes, so I'll be able to just wedge this in there, and then screw with my pocket holes into the existing studs. And I'm also going to add some wood glue because wood glue is actually stronger than screws. And since this is what my TV will be mounted to, this blocking, I need it to be really strong. And then for this part down here, cut down another 2x4. This one I can actually just use a 3-inch screw and drill straight through here into this blocking behind it. And then once my new blocking is in, I'll be able to reuse some of this drywall that I cut away, patch it back together. Will it be the cutest thing? No, but the TV's gonna cover it up anyway. I'm gonna use this paint pad instead of using a roller because supposedly the paint goes on smoother and it's like easier to use than a roller. Never used one of these before, but I bought it a while back and it's just been sitting in my garage. So I'm like, well, no time quite like the present. I also really don't want to have to do 2 coats on this wall. So I'm hoping that with this, I won't have to. Usually I put on 1 thick coat of paint with a roller and don't have to do a second coat using the Marquee paint since it is 1 coat coverage. So let's see. I like this. I definitely think that I will get similar 1 coat coverage results with this. I just need to get it like fully saturated. There we go. Oh yeah, that goes on nice and smooth. I definitely think you have to like maybe go over the same spot twice, like once vertically and then maybe another time horizontally if you have textured walls like I do, just to make sure that it gets in all of the little like nooks and crannies of the texture, which I do think like a roller is better for because you're like rolling it in a W pattern, like in all the different directions. It did say that this is for use on smooth surfaces, but I figured that like my wall is smooth enough. Don't accidentally paint over the outlet like I did. So yeah, I think I'm gonna keep using this. I do feel like that took less effort than rolling does. And you can attach like a pole to the back of it. So maybe once I get up a little bit higher, I will put the pole attachment on. I like it. We'll see how it goes for the whole wall and then I'll give my rating. Literally took me 6 hours. It's time for bed. One of my absolute favorite things about DIY is getting better at something and actually being able to like tell in the projects that you do. It took me 4 minutes to change out this outlet, which I think it's always best to have an outlet that matches the wall so that it doesn't just look like a weird, like, I don't know, eyesore on your wall. But the first outlet I ever changed probably took me like 25 minutes, and this one took me 4. I just love that. I'm gonna plug in this smart outlet. I wish these came in black, but they don't. But I'm gonna plug this smart outlet into here. This is what we keep our Christmas tree plugged into typically, so that we can set it on a schedule with our Google Home. But I'm gonna be setting up a different plant right here with its own little accent lighting. So I'm going to plug the accent lighting into here so that that can be on a schedule. I love smart home things and just having accent lighting on a schedule to run every single day so that we actually use it. Because I found if you try to do like the little accent lighting hacks and use like anything that has like a remote control that you have to manually turn on, or like the puck light trick, it's cute for Instagram, but I just find that like you never actually use it. You never remember to turn it on. So anytime I can plug something into a smart outlet and just set it to run automatically, I always go for it. I was gonna walk in and be like, what is this? I knew the tree was 10 feet tall, but I also didn't really know it was 10 feet tall. But I do think that it actually looks really, really good. Obviously it still needs to be fluffed, but I think it's gonna look great with like, you know, it's fluffed and like the scale that it brings to the living room looks good. I don't love this part of it where it like connects right here, but hopefully once I have my like filling and stuff in there and the rocks, then like that won't be as noticeable. All right, let's try filling this up with cardboard first. Okay, it's pretty full. Here's what it's looking like. So it's not just a big giant empty hole in the middle. And this is that like seam that I was talking about, which when you back up, you honestly can't see it. It's just when you're close to it. But I'm about to fill that upper area with rocks. Hopefully I have enough. And then you won't be able to see any of the stuff that I just put inside the pot. Let's try something else. I actually have these sheets, that colorful parachute that you used to use in elementary school, like PE class, where, you know, you like put it up in the air and everybody would go under it. They're so swishy that that's literally what it feels like when you're sleeping. So don't mind sacrificing this sheet. I think I could probably get just one more bag of rocks, and then that would probably be enough, I think. You could do like moss. That would definitely be cheaper. I just like the look of the rocks. I also think that if I could get everything up a little bit more to where the rocks were at this point, then I wouldn't need quite so many rocks because this area is much smaller than that area. So maybe that's actually what I need to do. So this is not technically what you are supposed to do, but what we did, do what you want in your own house, is drilled a hole here behind where the soundbar is going to be mounted, drilled a hole down at the bottom. We dropped some fishing line with a screw attached to it down to the bottom. We used a crochet hook to bring the fishing line out, and then tied and taped it to the cord and then worked our way back up so that this can come out of the wall, because there's no other way to plug it in with the cord hidden. Like I said, this is not what you're technically supposed to do. It's not to code. We should have a conduit in the wall, but this is what we did.
Do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah. I'm having a very lazy day today. My body is just so tired and so sore. Obviously, pregnancy, hello. And just doing these projects like in here and out in the living room, just like back to back, and trying to keep up with, let me prop you guys up here because even my arm is starting to hurt just holding the phone up. Just trying to like keep up with the level, why am I out of breath? With the level that I used to be able to get stuff done is like impossible. And I'm trying not to focus too much on it because I don't want to give into it and just let myself just like, whatever, we can just rest, because I still have so much to do, so much that I want to get done before the baby gets here. And I'm not even talking nesting. I'm not even talking about baby things. I'm just talking about stuff that I want done in the house. So I am resting when I need to, taking it day by day. I'm separating out my projects into chunks. I'm giving myself double the amount of time to get things done than I normally would have, but I can definitely feel that just like my recovery isn't as quick. So I didn't even really get dressed today. I basically still have on my pajamas, but I want to go ahead and decorate the like living room area where the cabinets are, just so that I can see how that whole space looks put together. I filled up the planter with more cardboard, so like that is all good to go with like the rocks and everything. And then I can show you guys a final reveal. So let's go decorate. I'm also gonna warn you now, I'm gonna skip through the decorating part because it's a lot of me just like moving little things around all over my house, having to pull things from different areas. I try as much as I can not to just constantly buy decor. I got stuck in that habit of like just going to Target and just like buying new stuff all the time. And then I found that like a couple months later, I didn't even like the things that I had like binge bought necessarily. So I try now to like focus on more quality pieces. Not, that doesn't necessarily mean that I spent a lot of money on them, but just like things that I really like and that I feel like represents the style of our home. And I just like swap those things in and out, and I just honestly move them from room to room, and it keeps it looking new and like feeling fresh to us, not always seeing the same thing sitting on the same shelf in the same room. So that's pretty much what I do, but that's also why it takes me a long time and why it's not like a simple process that I can explain to you or walk you guys through, because it's a lot of me grabbing things from different areas of the house and then having to go fill in those holes throughout the house. So enjoy this montage. So happy with how everything turned out in here. Like, it is honestly, it's giving model home. It's really giving model home. And I didn't expect to, I don't know why I always do this, but like, I never expect to love something as much as I end up loving it. Like, I knew I was gonna like it, but now it truly feels like home in here. Ira actually reminded me as I was painting this wall that every place that we've ever lived together since 2018 has had a black accent wall in it. So now that we've got our black accent wall here in the living room, it like actually feels like home to us. So let me walk you through just like the final touches that I put on everything. So the tree ended up being the perfect statement piece in this corner, and you guys can really see the scale here. We have 11-foot ceilings, and so it almost reaches the top, and I feel like it really just helps draw your eye up and really accentuates just how tall the ceilings are in here, and then also gives a little bit of like symmetry between the tree and then the like door opening that we have here. So that's great. I did add a little accent light back here just to give it some depth, and I love how it like straddles both the white and the black walls. That really worked out perfectly. I styled the top of the media cabinet here. I've never done my books quite like this. It's always been like some version of this, but I think that this works just with like the long scale of the media cabinet. Like I told you guys earlier, I just pulled all of this stuff from like different storage places that I have in my house, and then different spots that I have like decor around the house. And I think this with the frame TV looks really cute, really makes a statement on this wall. I love how the frame TV kind of like when it's off, it just disappears into the black wall, especially when we're watching TV. It's really nice to have the black behind it so that the color and like the images really pop. And so all we're waiting for now is for like the actual frame that goes around the frame TV to come back in stock. And it's kind of like, it's called teak, and so it's kind of like a warm brown tone, a little bit warmer than this. And we got one for the TV, and then we will also get one for the sound bar here. So this will look a little bit more like art. But for right now, I mean, I love having the frame TV. There is no glare on this thing, you guys. This is the newest version of the frame TV, and even the white balance keeps like messing it up every time I move around. But even when we're watching TV in here during the day with the blinds open, you can still see everything that's happening on the screen, even in like pretty dark scenes. So I'm really excited about that, and just like how flush it sits to the wall is honestly perfect. Over here in this nook, I originally did have a floor lamp over here, but the balance just like wasn't really working out the way that I wanted to, and the cord that came with the floor lamp was black, and so I always hate when you see like this big black plug on the wall. It just like really is distracting. So I ended up moving the vase back here and then putting my pampas grass in it. I'm actually missing a few stems. I don't know if they're like in the attic. Maybe I put them away with like the fall decor, but this should be a lot more full. So I got to figure out where the rest of my pampas stems are, and then hopefully I will be able to kind of like lean some down and hide this cord situation. I'll like unwrap it the way that it's still tied in the back there, just to disguise that a little bit. I love the way these two prints turned out. One of our wedding photos, and then, well, they're both from the wedding, but then obviously this one has like all of our best friends in it. That's our wedding party. So I think this is just like a really cute thing to see every time we look into this little hallway, because it was previously just completely plain. I did decide to paint the inside of, don't look at how messy our room is, but I did decide to paint the inside of this little doorway, and I think it works because it almost looks like you're seeing the inside of this wall. Like if you took a slice out of this wall, the inside of the wall is black, just like the outside. So I think that works really well. I'm out of breath. This baby's pressing on my lungs. I'm trying to talk to you guys, just walking around the house, and I'm out of breath. But looking at this side of the living room, I do still need to swap out our love sack cover. I have a white one that I'm probably going to put on here. We have a white and tan, and then we have one that's just like plain white that has like channel tufting in it. This is the one that I got for like holiday season, and I do love the green, but I don't know, maybe just because like I'm used to seeing it with all like the Christmas tree and everything, it's really green. It's like giving Christmas to me. So I'm going to swap that out to white. And then the only other thing that like I really still want to do in this area is change out the rug. We've had this rug, I mean, as long as we've had our couch. So like basically the entire time that we've owned this home and the last home, and I just don't love the white and gray anymore. I want something that is a little bit more warm to go with like the browns that I've been incorporating instead of the gray. So I am on the hunt for a new rug for the space, and just holding off until I find the perfect one, because it's a 9x12, so pretty big, pretty expensive. Check out on Instagram. I don't know, sometime this year I will probably have a new rug and I will show it on there. Unfortunately, the couch has been discontinued. Everybody always asks me about the couch every single time I show you guys my living room. Article no longer makes this couch, but I have seen a couple really similar options online floating around, so I will be sure to put those in the description, along with anything else that you guys see in here that I can link. I'm still loving these little picture ledges that I did earlier, I guess last year. This was like a little DIY that I did, so if you want the tutorial on that, that is on my Instagram highlights. I haven't changed out the art in a while, and honestly I probably won't, because no one really ever looks back there, but I just really love like the mixture of frames and colors and everything. That whole dining area is a project for another day, probably a different year than this one, because we do want to get, you know, real chairs, but we just don't, that's not really like in our priorities right now. So don't worry about the dining room. I did have, you guys saw two of these little tables back here, which I liked having. They fit perfectly in this little wall space. My only thing was, with a little kid eventually running around here, I can't really use that as decor space. Like, they're just going to want to take everything off the table. So I figured instead of getting rid of them completely, I would just move it over here. We can use it as a side table, and when baby is like big enough to actually start grabbing stuff, I will just take all of these things off, like all the fragile pieces off and stuff, and this can be a spot where we store toys and books and things like that. And so it's still functional for us, but it will be more functional as a side table slash baby thing storage, versus being back here where it was literally just decor. And the kitchen, which we will get to in a different video. I'm still working on it. So that's all I've got for you guys in this video. Thank you so much for tuning in to my page and continuing to follow along with my life and my projects and my pregnancy journey. I guess I will see you guys in the next video. I'm about to go flop down on this love sack. It's so foggy and gloomy outside, so I feel like it's just the perfect day for a Twilight marathon. So I will see you guys later. Bye, homies.